So, today I have this, and this controller is faulty. The problem with this controller is that the left bumper is always pressed in when you play. Let me show you what I mean. So just to show you the problem, this is a working controller, and if I press this trigger, it starts aiming. So this is the default state, and this is the aiming state. Now on the other controller, we're gonna start the controller. I'm not holding nothing. See, it went into the aiming state. So what we're gonna do is take a look on why this trigger is bad. And I would like to fix it, but if we can't, I have a bug repair job I did a while ago with a lot of spare parts we can use. So let's take it to the Mac. Alright, so here it is, and right off the bat I can see someone has been inside of this controller before, because this sticker has been peeled off, and for me I usually peel it off from the left side, but somebody has peeled it off from the right side, indicating that it's not me, so it's going to be interesting to see what we find. And this came off really easy. Alright, so this is the left trigger, so let's see what's going on there. If we can get this off even. Here we go. And at a glance, I don't see anything wrong. And I'm wondering, let's check these potentiometers, compare them and see if they differ. Now we can get the motherboard out. Maybe. Right, and everything seems to be factory. Alright, so I have no idea what values these should be, but let's first check continuity between these points. So I'm starting with the left one. This gives me 39, or 390, 315, 1053, 3. That's ohms, right? I think it is. Can you focus, please? Thank you. So wait, let's try from this point to this point. 315. And do I get the same from here? Okay, that's weird. It's ranging from 1. Okay, now it's stuck on 1. 799. That's not okay. That's not the same, at least. Okay, so from first point to second point, 1023. Oops. That's 800 and wait, 900, 858. 791. I'm just checking the opposites to see if these are upside down or something. It's all giving me different values. Okay, wait, I see something interesting. This is the left trigger because, yeah, these are the sticks, this is the left one, right one, and I opened up the controller like so, so I thought this was the left one. But that's not true. And I can see something here actually. If we look closer, if you can see, the solder here is kind of off. So I'm wondering if this just needs a reflow. So let's try that for starters. So we're just gonna give it a bit of flux. That should be enough. And all we need to do is just apply a bit of fresh solder. Let's not forget to clean up the old flux. There we go, and maybe that's all it needed. So let's test it out. Alright, so I tested the controller off camera, and that didn't seem to solve the issue. So I think what I'm gonna do now is just compare values and see exactly what the ohms values are on these potentiometers on different controllers, and see if we can find a pattern. It's kind of the same. So these top points have a higher value, so I'm thinking I'm gonna press this in with some tape and we're gonna see if that value gets higher. That should be enough. Let's just double check these values first. Nope. About 1000k. I knew it. Okay. So is it the potentiometer that is faulty then? Because now, when this is pressed in, the values are similar. And I'm wondering if we press this one in, will it be even higher? Or will it not change at all? We'll see. And of course I'm just looking for an excuse to use some Kapton tape. Go. We don't. There we go. Okay, stay in place. So we had about 1050 ohms on this one. And will it change or will it go up? It goes down. That's weird. This, shut up. Wait, what? Am I doing something wrong? Oh yeah, this is 1000 now. And this went down when it was pressed in. And if we release this one, this should have gone down, right? I don't get it. So 320. About 1000. And about 400. And now you know what? I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna desolder these points and I'm gonna take the whole left trigger off, and I'm gonna replace it with the other trigger I have and see if that makes a difference. And if it does, then I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. I mean, it might be a chip as well, but I'm just gonna rule out if it's this potentiometer, this whole assembly, or it's something else. And if it's not this, we're gonna have to try to fault find it further. Alright, so let's try that. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna remove the faulty suspected potentiometer from the original board, and then we're gonna remove it from the parts board. And one thing I noticed with this assembly is that it went out really easily. It was really easy to get out. I've done a couple of these, specifically this one, to get to the whole joystick assembly here, when I replaced these joysticks with Hall effects, and it's never been this easy to get this out. And since we also saw that one of the joints wasn't completely filled in, I'm wondering if this has been replaced before. And I'm also noticing, I should have noticed this earlier, But here it says C11, but there is no C11. And this board here is a bit bent as well. Was it I who removed that capacitor? I don't think so. I don't see anything here. Let me just double check another board. Okay, this as well doesn't have a C11, but it has a tiny C5 here. And I do see a marking here that says 5. I think this calls for microscope time. But also, this board has a 1 at the end, and this has a 6. But still, I just want to investigate and see what's going on here. Come here, microscope. Alright, let's see what we can see. I mean, you can see a 5 here, and it looks like something actually was here. Just clean up this area a little bit more. I mean, you barely can see the 5 now. But yeah, I think that's it, because I mean, without the small capacitor, this point can get to here and down here and go wherever it wants to go. So I think that's actually our problem. So I'm gonna take the donor board, see if that one has the same capacitor there, and if it does, we're gonna replace it. Okay, so here we have the donor board, and C5 and C17 are here instead of here. And here's the resistor. Yeah, these are the resistors. Anyway, I think this C5 is the same C5 that should be here. And let's try to compare the sizes. So I think that might be the correct size. So I mean, I don't have the capacitor on the board obviously because it's missing. Also, I'm not sure how to find out what size of what values this capacitor has. So all I can do basically is just try to take this one off and put it on the other board and see if that helps. So we're just gonna YOLO for it, and hopefully it's gonna turn out fine. Probably not, but we'll see. So I'm just gonna grab it first, if you can even hear me. And let's try to get it off. I don't know if you saw that, but we did get it off, and then it kind of just blew away. So we have to find it now, which is probably easier said than done. Alright, so I've been looking for a while, I can't find the capacitor, and I have to get to work. So, to be continued. I mean, for you it's just gonna be a cut, and then we'll, you know, keep going. But for me, this is gonna take some time. So, yeah. Hopefully, when I get back to you, I will have found the capacitor. Alright, so we're back. I'm done working, and I've also found the capacitor that fell down. So my plan now is to start recording with the microscope, get the capacitor in place, and hopefully this thing will start working. So here we can see the pads, and first thing I'm gonna do is just tin these two small bits so we have some extra solder on here, and hopefully that will help getting the capacitor in place. So let's begin. And hopefully that should be enough. And I also lowered the airflow of my hot air station so the capacitor doesn't blow away again. So I have it at 25% and it won't get any lower than that. And I'm just gonna put some flux on to help keep it in place before I apply the air. So before I start, I just want to say that I'm hoping the surface tension will keep this thing in place, and that the lowest setting on my air station, which is 25 air pressure and 100 max, that it won't blow it away. So we'll see. I think it's starting to move. No. That didn't go as well as I wanted it to. And I think that this might be okay, but I want to add a bit more solder to it and just make sure that it's gonna stay in place. And I will probably regret this, but we'll see. Okay, that wasn't obviously the best outcome, but I still have the capacitor, believe it or not. I think I just need to tin these pads a bit further. Okay, I don't think we're gonna get much more solder than that on it, so let's put a bit more flux. put the capacitor roughly in place. And let's hope this goes better this time. And actually, I'm not even sure that this capacitor is in right now. So I'm gonna try to test it. So what I'm thinking is that I will test the leads of the capacitor, meaning these metal rods, and see if they go to their corresponding pads. So from here to here, and from here to here. So this should go from here. This goes from here to here. Okay. So this leg, we know that this one is going to here. And this via goes here. But I'm not sure it goes to this. Or maybe it does. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I mean, it definitely goes to the pad underneath, but I'm not sure this capacitor is on correctly. So unfortunately, I think we have to try again. And then just slightly increase the airflow to 35, because 25 barely did anything. think that might be good, but I'm not sure. So let's see. Continuity from here to here. So my thinking right now is to get the smallest tip I have and try to use that one. And I have like this needle nose tip, and maybe, just maybe, that won't transfer too much heat to the capacitor, meaning it will stay in place. But that's also a big guess. So wish me luck. I mean, this has to be it, right? That's gotta be it. It's clearly on the capacitor now. So let's check from here to here. We have continuity. Okay. Progress. Cool. So that cap is back in place. Continuity is working from both points. So all we have to do now is just put the trigger back together, solder these holes. That's going to be real easy, and hopefully it will work. If not, I'm gonna have to replace the trigger, but we'll see if I'll have to do that or not. So I'm just gonna swap over to my bigger tip, and we're gonna add it up, and we're gonna add the trigger back. So we're just gonna put the stick back in, or not the stick, but the trigger. Like this. Now it's sitting great. And actually, and I'm thinking we might as well just skip the microscope for this. I can clearly see what I'm doing. Just put a bit of flux on it. And get to soldering. clean up the area. But I would need a cotton bud, and I can't really see one. Here it is. Let's get that back on. Back off, I mean. Alright, let's check out the joints. I mean, not the prettiest, but they should be enough. Alright, so what do you think? Do you think it's gonna work? I sure hope so. Let's find out. Alright, so I took the liberty to put the controller back together completely. Two reasons. Because number one, there was an obvious fault with the capacitor missing, and I thought about it while I was working, and I thought, surely I couldn't have done that by myself, because I have replaced many of these joysticks before. I've gotten really used to it, and I just can't see a way that I did it myself. Also, number two, if that wasn't the fault, I really don't know what the fault can be. If that wasn't the fault, we're gonna have a much longer video, and I'm gonna try to troubleshoot this. So hopefully, I mean, it would be good either way because that's more content, but I truly think that that was the only problem with this thing. So yeah, it's time to put my money where my mouth is. So what we're gonna do now is I'm at the main menu. I've disconnected the controller so you can see me connecting it. Maybe that wasn't done, but I was excited. Anyway, we're gonna load up the game again, and when it loads, the character shouldn't aim all by himself. So hope that will show that the left trigger is working. So let's try it. And you'll see I won't touch the trigger at all. And it's really taking its time to load. Right. Okay, so now, as we can see, it's not aiming anymore. So the trigger is fixed, but I think maybe there's nothing off with this left bumper. No, just my imagination. Maybe I pressed bad. Anyway, so yeah, the controller is fixed. So as I said, the controller is fixed. I'm really surprised that this fault actually existed and that somebody by mistake removed the capacitor, but I mean, that happens. I've slipped many times, I melted my fair share of plastic, and have also knocked off many capacitors. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about the person who did it. It happens to all of us, especially in the beginning, and you know, we learn from our mistakes. The thing I'm really happy about with this fix is that I actually got to do a really small repair with a teeny tiny capacitor, as you saw. I mean, it was just on the verge for me being able to even control it with my tweezers. So yeah, I think I learned a lot. I did struggle, I did fail in the beginning, but I didn't give up, and I adapted to the situation, and I think I learned some new skills along the way. And also I got the chance to use my very thin tip of the iron, so that was great. Yeah, so let me know what you thought about the fix. What do you think about the skills I developed so far? Are there any tips you would like to give me for future videos, for future fixes, something I could keep in mind? That would be great. And yeah, for this video, I really couldn't come up with a green screen idea for a controller. I don't know, maybe I could have pretended to be a tiny capacitor, but I mean, that sounds stupid. And I don't have to do green screen all the time, right? Also, green, it wouldn't work, obviously. And it's not like I can just take it off. That would look stupid. You know, you wouldn't have the continuity in the video. So that's my reasoning for it. Anyway, if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe. Leave a comment, and yeah, hopefully I'll reach 100 subscribers. Not today, though, but yeah, today, that would be cool. But if not, to the end of the year. So yeah, I'm tired of saying yeah all the time, and I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.